Hi, I'm Neil,
I'm Dave.
and we're excited to be answering your most frequently asked cannabis questions.
We'll be doing this through a series of quick, digestible Q&As with some of the most important characters in the cannabis industry and the broader culture at large.
Today, we're spending 420 seconds with Todd Liubinskas. Todd is a run boss for the 440 Club, the fitness director at Men's Health, and has recently launched Feel Fit in 4 Weeks, a program featuring 28 unique bodyweight sessions. We'll be discussing the crossover between the cannabis community and the running community in relation to the endocannabinoid system.
Todd, thanks for your time.
Dave, Neil, my pleasure.
So, mate, obviously running's been a big part of your life, kept you exceptionally fit personally, but it's also led into a career, global community, and indeed an empire you're building. Why is running so important to you?
Well, I'm going to start with, I never thought I was a runner. I never anticipated myself being a runner. I guess the main part about that was because I grew up playing rugby league, rugby union. I was doing triathlons. I was playing basketball. Running was always a big component of what I was doing physically. So the reason why I ran when I was doing all my sport was a lot different to why it is now. And I guess through the club like the 440, turning up and getting up quite early on a Saturday morning when it's generally pretty dark and having a restful Friday night was something a lot different in my wheelhouse. It wasn't in my day-to-day activity or a weekly activity. So getting up and starting to move at a really early hour of the morning did wonders for me. It did wonders for my head. I was doing something before the world sort of woke up, and I had my exercise done before, generally 6 o'clock most days. And what it also did, it gave me a different level of fitness that I never thought I had. It also gave me a bit more of an understanding of exploration. So, seeing new places, and if I was traveling, I'd always go for a run that next day rather than going on a, public transport or anything like that, because you see a lot more. So I think there's a few reasons why I run, but I mean the main thing is it makes me feel good, and I can do it anytime, anywhere that I want.
Mate, nice. So speaking of feeling good, for those of us that train or do run, the runner's high, what is it? Can you describe it to us?
Well, to me, the runner's high is when you're at a certain level, like when you start running, whether it be shuffling or walking or sprinting, whatever it may be, it's the way your body feels. It's the way you react. It's that feeling you get of, exhaustion, but elation. You feel like your body's worked and you feel like you've put yourself through some sort of challenge, but you feel good after it. That's the ultimate result of the runner's high, is feeling good. Now, technically speaking, there's obviously certain forms of that. I was always traditionally known that it was through endorphins and through like dopamine release and things like that. But now doing a little more of a deeper dive into it, I understand that there's a bit more of a technical aspect to that.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And of course, you're alluding to the endocannabinoid system, relatively new term to most, and actually quite new to the science community as well, only being discovered in 1992. So the endocannabinoid system, which is a network of receptors, enzymes, and endocannabinoids within the human body, which regulates moods and other human functions, regulated by running and also by supplementation through things like CBD isolates.
If you can bottle up the runner's high and you can take a certain amount of that every day, I think everyone would go out and want to do that. I think that endocannabinoid system speaks to a lot of the reason why we do go out and do something, whether it be, a run, or whether it be CrossFit, or whether it be movement for 20 minutes a day. I think if that's something that can be supplemented and it can be used in a way that, A, makes the body feel good, 2, enables you to move a little bit better than you may not have otherwise realized you could have moved, then why wouldn't you do that? I mean, that's a really strong selling point. And if it's coupled into, say, a morning routine, or if it's something done daily, I think we can all benefit out of that, because it'll give us more clarity. It'll enable us probably to live a lot longer, I'm assuming, because the body's going to move in a more active way. So I guess that's probably my clarification of of that supplementation. I personally haven't tried it, but that's probably why I go out and do 10 to 15 Ks running every couple of days, because I need to. It's like something that I always need to have. So yeah, I mean that's a really nice supplement to be open to want to take.
Now, look, definitely. And look, science and research suggests now that medicinal cannabis products do help with things like stress, PTSD, anxiety. Obviously, running also helps with your mental health as well. Can you talk to that? Can you talk about how running's affected your mental health and, I suppose, anecdotally, the community that you run within as well?
100%. Well, when I got introduced to 440 through my business partner, Trent Knox, he was DMing me and messaging me for months and months before I actually turned up to my first 440. And now when I turned up, I got up at 4 a.m., got down there about 4:30, and we started running at 5. That already was a lot different to me. So when I started running, I was actually going through a breakup at the time. And that to me was a release for me. It was something where I knew I could get moving and I could forget about everything else for the 40 to 45 minutes. And what it did for me, it actually gave me a sense of, belonging to myself, doing something back for myself, getting rid of all the stress, couple that in with a bit of meditation, couple that in with some good food. All of a sudden I was doing something really good for myself, for my body. And once that was working really well, the mind was in a better state and I was vibrating at a higher level than I was before.
Absolutely. Mate, look, we're coming to the end of our 420 seconds, but just to finish up, obviously we're spoken about supplementation, we're spoken about running specifically. Generally speaking though, how can people activate their endocannabinoid system if they don't have a long road to run on or access to medical cannabis at the moment? Programs say like the 4 weeks to fitness.
Yeah. So if you don't have, supplementation, and if you can't get outdoors, a 20-minute workout like my Feel Fit in 4 weeks program, you can do it 20 minutes a day. And that's a mix of moving your body. Even if you don't have access to that, you can squat for 5 minutes. You can do burpees for 5 minutes. You can run on the spot. Everyone's got that ability to move in a certain space. So if you can do something that is, around that time frame, 20 minutes roughly a day, get the heart rate up to, around the 70-80% mark for that 20-minute period, chances are that endocannabinoid system is going to be active and released through the body. You're going to be feeling better.
Excellent. Todd, thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys.